$23,441,888. That's right. It is a whole lot of money. That is what is on the line here for TI7. And we are indeed back in business. It's our second day here as we venture forth on a 2-week extravaganza. And you have a lot to look forward to. Things are being worked on. In fact, the stage is being built in the key arena as we speak. And for now, we are going to be joined by a beautiful brain trust of Dota, where they're going to be talking us through everything you need to know about what's happened, what's happening, and if Quinn can indeed touch his toes. We found out Blitz could yesterday. He gave us a demonstration. We can all confirm that. We have, of course, Blitz, CCNC, and PyCat, who are going to be the brains to, I was going to say my brawn. It's not even brawn, just the brains to whatever I try and bring to the table. Quinn, how many inches is it from you to touch? Well, excuse me. That's how you break the ice. How many inches away from touching your toes were you?
Like, at least several feet, I think.
Several feet? Why do we still measure things in feet? That's the real mystery. But dude, did you have a good first day at TI?
Yeah, I think it was a good day. I think some semi-unexpected results.
Semi-unexpected?
Yeah, some cool heroes, the mid-brood, a couple Zeuses here and there. I think it was a good first day.
Certainly is a good first day, and I know it was a good first day for Blitz. So good, in fact, he forgot to iron his shirt. Will.
Dude, I tried.
What is the story here?
How many times do you think I've done this in my life?
Like, look at that shoulder. It looks like you've been, it looks like a cloth nutsack.
Here's what happened. I woke up, I put on the shirt, I was like, I need to iron this thing. I looked at the time, I was like, I'm not gonna have enough time.
I think we forgive you.
What do you want from me, man?
Do you know what I want? I want some top-tier analysis today. That's what I'm after. PyCat, we're going to be picking your mind as well. Yesterday, was there anything in particular that was going to be your big takeaway from day one of TI7?
I guess the biggest thing is that both LGD teams are doing so well. We kind of talked a bit about how they were, you know, we thought they would do pretty well, but they did even better than expected. They're both of 6-0 and 4-0, so 10-0 altogether for LGD, which is pretty cool. What do you guys think?
LGD fanboy.
Yeah.
Like, so biased.
Just
when you're LGD
fanboy?
Dude, LGD int.
Yeah.
It was one time. It was, come on, it wasn't even that fun of a time.
I feel like I'm a part of this, you know. I can partake in this glory, you know.
We'll see if anyone can join the PyCat Club as well today.
Oh, yeah.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. If you want to join the TI Club, though, you can via various forms of social media. Twitter is something I know Valve like to. You can tweet anything you want changed about Dota, just tweet them and they'll be sure to implement it. So just at Dota2, #TI7. Facebook.com, just throw a slash in there for Dota2. Outside of that as well, we have Instagram. You can go ahead and do that as just Dota2 TI. Now, I know you're probably watching on one of the platforms, but just to make it clear for everyone who's unfamiliar, Twitch and YouTube now are available if you want to go ahead and watch. It's just Dota2 TI over on Twitch, and just get rid of that TI if you want to watch us on the YouTubes. That's what my mum calls it, the YouTubes.
The YouTubes?
Have you seen this cat video on the YouTubes?
Multiple tubes.
Yeah. Just multiple tubes, and I don't know where you comes from, but that's what my mum calls it. Does your mum watch Dota? Anyone? Have you tried explaining it to her?
My dad watches. My dad watches quite a bit of Dota.
He does?
And, yeah, he does. And when I was living in China, he'd call my brother. He'd call him up and he'd be like, "Hey, you need to tell him to play the bear. Play the bear." We were playing Lone Druid. You know, we had some success when we played Lone Druid.
Yeah.
And then when we didn't win, my dad, he was mad, you know. But the thing is, he'd get mad at my brother.
Yeah.
So he'd call my brother and he'd be like, "Tell him to play the bear.
That's
Tell him,
brilliant.
God damn it, play the bear."
With Timberman somewhere smiling. Parents involved in Dota at all, or is it just another world to them?
Dude, my mom only watches when Merlini's on.
Oh,
Like, that's the only time she cares.
that's the only time there's any interest.
Yeah. She used to watch us when we played Zephyr, but then we started sucking. And my entire family was like super invested in Zephyr in the beginning. And you go like, because we were winning, and then everyone checked out.
Did they get some like t-shirts and everything, maybe some pom-poms?
Dude, we had like 80 shirts made for my family. Nobody wears it. We had to give them away at the Mafia land. Nobody wanted them.
Every talent's got a Zephyr shirt.
Yeah, every talent's got a Zephyr shirt.
No, they're sitting there doing a car boot sale, where, like yard sale, I think you call it in the US.
Yeah.
Just kind of take the shirt.
I would give my Zephyr shirt away at this TI. Somebody wanted it.
Anyway, we
like
have
6.
some Dota.
Yeah, so if you guys want Zephyr shirts, just walk up to Blitz.
Yeah? Oh, you got some with you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, there you go. So if you see Blitz, and what do they have to do? Because, of course, there's going to be 17,000 people. There has to be a special thing.
Touch your toes.
You got to touch your toes.
If you touch your
give you a
toes
shirt.
and you meet Blitz and you immediately touch your toes, you get a free Zephyr shirt. There we go. That's the important analysis done. But now onto some nitty and gritty. We can talk just a little bit about those results and how that table does look, because it is time to summon the standings. Yes, indeed. This is how it shaped up after the first day. If any of you've just joined us and are unfamiliar with how the format does work, top 4 are over in that upper bracket, smooth sailing with that double elimination cushion. Outside of that, the bottom 4 of which will be given straight to the lower bracket, and outside of that, 2 teams will be going home without setting foot on that stage. Whew, let's kind of work our way through Group A. We've already touched on LGD, PyCat, but Liquid are not too far from being the bride at this wedding. Interesting analogy I just made up.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Liquid yesterday. They only fell 1 game to EG, and that was the last game of the day. They looked, I think they look very strong, but they have some kind of unorthodox heroes that they pick. They like to pick a lot of heroes with push, and I expect them to keep doing well. I would really like to see this LTD versus Liquid matchup. It's probably going to decide who wins the group. But other than that, who else is in there?
I mean, we've got Secret as well, which I think some people were expecting more from.
Secret, yeah. They didn't do that well yesterday.
Same series as Empire. I mean, Empire were a team that I don't know where expectations were set, Blitz. I mean, if you're going into a scrim versus Empire, what's kind of the conversation that happens beforehand?
I mean, I think it's a little bit awkward just because you know they have a stand-in. Obviously, it's a high-skill stand-in, but it's still somebody that they haven't played with. So I talked with Rezo yesterday. We hung out when we went to work out together, and he was just telling me, like, there's still an adjustment period that has to be made. But this is what groups are for. The only scary part is, of course, being 2 and 4, you're still on the cusp of potentially bottoming out. Of course, Fnatic has a cushion set, but at the same time, like, you don't want to dip below that number. You want to make sure that you're at least making it to the main stage, so that maybe you've got it figured out by then.
Have we got any like historically like incredible stand-ins in TI history? Is there anyone that kind of jumps to mind? I mean, there's probably not that many at the tip of your tongue. I can see those brains working. Rezo, yeah.
Is that what you guys do? You like gossip about Dota at the gym?
Yeah, that's what you do. You just talk about our
so
futures and stuff like that.
Who are the gym buddies? It's like the gym
Rezo
group.
and Zai. That's the boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Occasionally I get to tag along, and he tells me I'm doing it all wrong.
No, you're the best, Alex.
He's lying. He's not very. He's lying. We're going to get Quinn down the gym, though. We're going to be doing stretches for the majority of this one.
Yeah, that sounds rough.
Yeah? Dude, I could see you being a gym rat in no time. But you're a Dota rat, and that's... Wait, what am I talking about? You're a Dota rat, and I like that. Crossing my legs and talking more about the IGV boys, because I know that we talked about IG, both of them. We were kind of getting quite excited about the prospect of maybe both IG teams making a deep run. One started a little better than the other, though. 1 and 3 for IGV.
I think some of these results aren't too indicative of how strong the teams actually are. Like, we've been talking about how well LGD's been doing, but I don't know... it doesn't mean that much. They've played Fnatic, they played Empire, and they played one other, not super top tier team. They haven't played TNC, EG, Liquid yet.
Sure.
And sort of the opposite for IGV. They played EG and Liquid, so 2 of the strongest teams. So I think, the first day, the results definitely mean something, but you kind of have to look at the teams they've played. So I think IGV is potentially still, a very strong team. They qualified first in the China region, so above both the LGDs, which is a little surprising.
Yeah, so far, of course. I think it is sometimes difficult to reflect too much on like just the opening results because we've only got our first day under our belt, right, PyCat? When do we see that the kind of cream separating from the milk? That's an expression I'm again making up.
Yeah, you're full of them today, man.
Thanks, man.
I think at the end of today we will pretty much see. I think there will be a kind of an outline of how our team. Yeah, I think so. At the end of today, I think we will kind of know how are these teams looking. You'll have a sort of fair assessment of like the majority of the group.
Yeah.
You'll understand, this team is going to be, obviously some teams might be already in the upper bracket. Some teams might already be in the lower bracket. And yeah, usually on the last days, it's where you decide like there's a couple teams left and they have like a few matches left to play, which dictates if they get in or out,
Yeah.
Could be the last team who gets the last place and stuff like that. But I think we'll pretty much know like the majority of it.
Okay, so tomorrow is going to, by the end of today, we'll have that kind of just a little
an
bit
outline,
more
yeah,
an
sort
outline
of. I think so.
That's going to go and how that top 4 will look. Of course, there's a huge amount on the line by getting that top 4. Now into Group B, there is something that we kind of a conversation we didn't breach in our first day of broadcast, and that's of course surrounding the real surprises, the curveballs that were thrown in just through those qualification processes. I mean, there wasn't many that from the open qualifiers slipped through. In fact, Hellraisers are the name that I want to kind of throw at you guys and just see if who's going to bite. Saxa is hanging out there. I mean, why is your face looking so twisted, Will?
I mean, I don't know, because Planet Odds here. I was here as like a last-second replacement. Sox is coaching a team that's 0-2.
Yeah, okay.
Rezo's not doing so hot. Like
Hey, Rezo had a Luna game.
they won game.
Yeah, like,
I
what
don't know.
happened, honestly, like, you know, it's like, I get this team, I coach them to, you know, second place TI, and then I kind of, you know, give them to you, and like, what happened?
We kind of
What
made it here,
happened?
like in
Liquid
pieces.
went up too.
Yeah,
when
it's
he
like
jumped ship.
Yeah.
we kind of made like that's not what
This doesn't reflect very well. you
We
know?
sort of made
what's
it
the
here.
difference here? What's the difference in your coaching styles? Do you know? Are you? I feel like you're a stern leader, Pycat. I feel like you'd have like a dark room. Where am I taking this? That you take
Yeah.
those that underperform.
I think,
Stern talking to.
well, I think if I have an idea, then I kind of like to be able to kind of follow through with it. Even if you don't use it, I like to see where it goes. Like, at least follow through with the idea, and you can check it out. And if you don't like it, then, you know, fuck it, then that's fine.
Sure.
But I think, yeah, when I have an idea, I like to use it, and I like to kind of try to implement that. I feel like,
What's the definition of implement? You mean as in really give it like
yeah,
time?
like
give it
actually
time?
just well, so during TA6 kind of, and even to some extent now, I think I feel like Dodo's been like a lot about taking towers, and you could see that from the way DC played, I think, quite well. DC started playing this kind of split push with you'd get ahead in lanes, and then you'd still have two cores that kind of scale into late game, and they would preferably have better tower damage than the enemy. If you do this, this means that at some point in the game, you don't necessarily have to fight the enemy that much, but rather you can just, you choose when you want to fight. Because if you can push faster, it means you don't have to fight the enemy, because you can just go to towers and start hitting towers instead. If you take towers faster than your enemy, then they have to be the ones chasing you. So you can kind of dictate the pace of the game by not fighting. So you just go and you push faster than enemies. And that was something that I think helped DC quite a lot. I think it was very apparent that was kind of the style of play at the winner bracket finals, or loser bracket finals, sorry, against EG, game 3. And also the game where Rezo kind of single-handedly took 3 sides of Rex with Morphling while the rest of the team was just fighting. So,
Well, we get to see him in Empire now. And this is interesting, just kind of the discussion surrounding coaches. I think it'd be fun to kind of dip just a bit deeper into this. I mean, 2 of you have got experience very recently, or at least I'm going to say semi-recently coaching. I mean, this is not something you've kind of ventured into yet, CCNC, but I mean, just the impact that coaches have on a team. I mean, we're about to, in fact, the first game, this could be a prime example because we have OG with one of the most praised coaches in the scene currently, which is, of course, Mad. How have you found the coaching transition then, Will? How have you found, like, what impact can you truly have on the 5 players in the game?
Well, for the most part, what ideas you're going to go in with, they're going to go in with, and hopefully you try to influence as much as you can. But at the end of the day, you're not playing right. So there's only so much influence you can have. You can have an idea of what you can tell them. Like, for example, when we played against IG at Epicenter, we had a good idea of the kind of vision game that they wanted to play. And I just like poured over replays, told them like, this is probably what you can expect. This is probably where they're going to try to start. They don't like playing the off-lane game too much. We realize like their 2 supports like to move around the map as much as possible, but they're not really going to ever mess with Rezo. So we try to give him as late game of a hero as possible so that he could 1v5. But for the most part, like, you're just kind of there to make sure that things don't go horribly wrong, or they're going in like the wrong
but we were also
direction.
kind of different coaches, I think, right?
Yeah.
We kind of had different roles as I see it, right? Because
Different
I was more
styles?
like well, for me, I think it was a lot about being kind of me and Misery, we would kind of bounce ideas off one another,
Yeah.
and just kind of we would think up something new for every game, you know, some ideas or whatever, and like we'd kind of create the draft for the team. But you did more kind of like
Tendencies
boosting the team and like stuff, or would you say?
It was like, I would say more on Liquid. Probably the more important role is just to make sure that people weren't like killing each other.
Right.
Whereas
Sure.
on DC or Planet Odd / Thunderbirds and everything, I guess it was more of everything. Like we'd go over stuff. We'd just talk to each other about Dota, making sure that we're thinking about the right ideas and stuff like that.
So who do you like talking to the most in that team? Like who would you talk, maybe aside from Misery, I guess?
Probably Rezo.
Yeah?
We'd just like talk about the game. We'd say like, we're not doing Roshan very well. This is something that we need to work on. Maybe this isn't good enough. But at the end of the day, it's all talk, right? It's like, you can't really play for somebody.
I think the emotional side of it, or like the keeping people like mentally sound, is something that's like underrated that coaches do. Like we didn't really have a coach for Freedom, but we had like one of Stan's friends that just came with us and like was at the boot camp, and he didn't really, he plays Dota, but he's not like, very good at it.
Right.
But he was more just like the emotional coach. Like when we're losing scrims, we're losing matches, like, just talking to us, helping us like get our thoughts out, communicate with each other. Like someone like that, I think is also super valuable and like very underrated. And you see coaches like Mad that sort of are both best of both worlds. They're very good at Dota, very smart, as well as being this player that helps people get their thoughts out and helps keep like the air positive and clear.
Yeah. So it's kind of it's also just managing the emotional aspect of Dota. Actually, I was watching a Sin's cast just yesterday. He was talking about just how much emotion plays a part in Dota, and just how much like people don't realize it is an emotional game as well. Payback, would you kind of agree with that sentiment, or do you believe it is at the end of the day it's all just kind of ones and zeros?
Well, I think it definitely depends on what team you look at. I mean, we saw
Let's use some examples from the board behind us.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got the EG, the robots. We got the TF5 winning, and I mean,
go on, expand upon the robots of EG.
I've looked happier going to the store and buying coffee than they did after winning TI. It's like then there's some others. I mean, I remember like Navi, they were always really happy when they played.
Yeah.
There's like Ad Finum, who just loses it whenever they win a match.
To be fair, that was a unique case, wasn't it, Ad Finum?
Yeah.
That was a unique case, and it hasn't gone great since.
No, but those guys, they're very emotional. So I think it really depends on what kind of team you are. Actually, I think it's like, because usually it's like the core of the team. It's like 3 people. They will kind of dictate. If you have 3 chill dudes, then you'll probably go towards the more, the relaxed one. And then if you have 3 pretty hype people, I guess the 2 others will kind of just have to.
Where do OG fit into that category? Those categories?
Didn't they used to be like really? I mean, Notail used to be really
hype.
Because
I can't imagine Fly shouting ever.
No, I think if you saw the True Side video, and I talked to Matt about this, because the funny thing is like when we played them at Manila, we all had to use the same room to like, and so we're like standing like 20 feet apart.
Oh god, so everyone's whispering.
You can't hear anybody, but for the most part, like you can kind of tell how the talk's going, and like for us, I could tell like both teams are like super relaxed. You have Mad, who is kind of like the emotional core from what we saw. Like he's the guy dictating stuff, and it confirmed everything that I thought in the True Side video, where he was telling everyone like, calm down, guys, like take it one game at a time, because when you're that deep into a tournament, you're gonna make like minor adjustments. But for the most part, you just have this 6th guy who's telling everyone objectively like, it's fine, we got outdrafted, move on from the game. Sometimes like everyone needs to hear that, otherwise you get this nervousness that starts to exist.
I mean, just on the topic of True Sight, what did you make of the way VP were kind of, well, in their mind, they were painted like villains, but also just getting to see a little bit of how their team dynamic is. I thought it was very interesting to kind of catch that. Quinn, what did you make of like seeing, did you catch the documentary?
Yeah, I think like a lot of teams have a similar dynamic where, not that they're like, they hate other teams or anything, but whenever you're in these really long tournaments and you're playing against a lot of other teams, there's a very thin line between like confidence and cockiness that you kind of want to find, where you think we can beat this other team, but you don't become so confident that you start like disrespecting them, or you don't do prep work because you're like, oh, we got this.
No, but I mean, everyone playing a video game ever, doesn't matter what it is gonna, you start chatting a bit of smack, right, to kind of get yourself or your teammates hyped up.
Yeah, for sure. That's
a reality of the games we play. But I mean, as a team, representing the CIS nation, trying to go ahead and do the Commonwealth, I should say, doing the very best they can. Virtus Pro and their chances has not been something that we've actually actively discussed. I know that there's been a lot of kind of ups and downs for Virtus Pro. Have you ever been on that hype train for Virtus Pro, Pycat? Have you ever been kind of to in that horn? Because you don't seem convinced, and I want to know why. I want to explore this.
Well, I think it is a little bit of that. I mean, I think they're a pretty cool team.
Sure.
In a way, it's just they do have some of these players who are a bit more.
We back to emotions?
Yeah, a little bit of emotions, I guess. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they come across as a bit cocky sometimes with a certain right. But yeah, I feel like some of them could, take a bit of a chill pill sometimes.
Sure.
But I mean, hey, it's fresh to see like different things. You gotta have some storylines in Dota. You know, you can't have all the good guys and then. So I think VP, you know, they're doing the thing, and you know, I'm glad that we have a team like VP at least, because without them it would be pretty, you know.
Yeah,
pretty colorless.
We need a bit of everything, and I think VP are definitely fun to get to see exactly what they are capable of and how they go about achieving that. Perhaps emotions are going to be a discussion we keep returning to, but it is something that's interesting. But we can bring up what's coming up today, and indeed VP do feature, in fact, in a matchup that already our analysts have said that they're most looking forward to. You can see it on stream 2. We ended our day yesterday, and I believe all three of you, kind of your eye was drawn not only to Newbie OG, undoubtedly something that we will be discussing and at length, but Virtus Pro versus LFY. Do you think this is going to be their first like big test for both teams really? Piker.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this game is whoever wins this will be. I mean, if there's a 2-0, either team will be on top of the group, and yeah, so for sure it's like the top game of the group. Yeah.
Do you consider that to be a kind of opposing style as well? In that one, or I see that the thought process going through.
Yeah, I think so to some extent. VP are kind of more aggressive, and I'd say that LFY is a bit more. They tend to kind of take a slower approach to the game. They chill a bit more, but I do think that LFY are actually pretty versatile. They can kind of do a lot of things.
Okay, now Will, you talked about this before. Yesterday you spoke about Newbie, and you spoke about how they are the most patient team you've ever seen play Dota. They're going up against OG. How do those two match?
The thing is there's always been this saying around OG is they don't play Dota until 20 minutes. Like they don't really care about anything.
Okay.
But once it hits the mid game, this team hits you like a truck. Like they team fight aggressively. They start taking towers down. I don't think I ever see them waste smokes. Like they're probably one of the best teams at smokes, which is such an underrated thing. Oftentimes you'll see teams just aimlessly smoke. They'll go as 5, they won't really run into anything. OG is a team that capitalizes on these opportunities. They're very aggressive with it. And for a lot of teams, it's kind of like, whoa, calm down. Like, and they can't really match the pace. But for a team like Newbie, I don't know, sometimes they're also a bit of slow starters. Like when we played against them, it felt like they were just playing the game very casually. They didn't really have too many objectives in mind. They like Quinn said, they take towers later than any other team. They're just really calm, so it's a really weird style clash because somebody has to be aggressive.
So you think that both teams are just going to chill?
So do you think our casters for the first 20 minutes are going to be like, well?
I think that in a game like that, I think OG will be a little bit more aggressive. Okay. I think they'll ramp it up and they'll take a little bit more initiative. Because I think Newbie, no matter what.
What do you think about CC's SCCC versus Ana?
Oh, that's a hype matchup. When we played them at Genting and at Galaxy Battles, we could tell like this guy's a beast. In China, I think he's one of the top 3 mid laners that I consistently see play. Just such a high skill ceiling, never messes up. This guy shoves in waves like nobody's business. He's very objective focused. He knows what he's doing at all times. It doesn't feel like he ever gets confused. And Ana at the same time, I think has stepped it up big time.
Right.
Since Boston, I think he was a little bit shaky, but ever since then, like this guy doesn't really lose lanes too often.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he definitely stepped up big time.
Because there was criticism thrown towards Ana for a while, Quinn. And I mean, what was the initial criticism towards someone who's obviously, as we've discussed, started to kind of climb out of his shell somewhat?
I think a lot of the criticism was that he's a weaker laner than a lot of the highest tier mids. Yeah, I think it was most of the laning phase. I don't think anyone can debate how good he is at like spellcasting. His like game decision making is like very good. But I think his laning was shaky maybe months ago, but I think it's gotten a lot better, and he's definitely like very solid. Like he's not gonna lose a lane to anyone.
Did you play those guys?
Ana in like pubs?
Yeah. Yeah. SCCC. On pubs and whatnot.
I played against SCCC like one time in a pub, and he was definitely solid. I've played against Ana several times, and he's definitely like a very good player. You can tell this guy when you're playing against him in lane, like he knows what he's doing.
SCCC or Ana?
I think both of them.
Okay, both of them.
I didn't lane versus SCCC.
Oh, you didn't lane versus him?
I know. Okay. I lane versus Ana. SCCC was playing like support or something.
It would have sounded like you were stuttering if you were casting that, just like kind of like SCCC versus CNCC. Anyway, CC my playmate.
Nice.
Dude, this is the guy that solo killed Miracle, so.
That's right. Yeah, and we did get to see a little bit of the 9K Invoker come out as well.
I think that's something that is going to be pretty contested between these two players, because they have a very similar hero pool. Like you think of both those players, you think of Invoker, you think of Storm Spirit, and like only one team can have those heroes.
Yeah. Does SCCC play a lot of Ember?
He used to. That hero's sort of fallen out of
Yeah, it's kind of fallen out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, so in terms of head-to-head, if I asked for 2 players to watch from the 2 games we've discussed, so do you want to just kind of stick with SEC and Anna for the mid lane, or do you want to go elsewhere? Anyone want to take it elsewhere? You happy with that mid lane? I know you said it was hype matchup, Will, but you didn't quite explain as to why.
Between newbie and OG?
Yeah.
I just feel like you're going to see who's a real contender here. Like OG, they came into TI with question marks because of last year, but you can't blame the son for the sins of the father, right? This is a completely different team. This is a team that has revamped. They won 2 majors. They're focused. I can tell they're hungry, and they have more experience under their belt. Yeah. If you compare this group stage for a lot of teams, for example, from last year, Liquid, they needed that year under their belts. Matuma Man and Mind Control, they needed to experience what a TI was under Kuro.
Sure.
And now they're a lot better going into the groups. You know, they finished 5-1, and for OG, I think this is time to set things straight. Newbie has the same question marks. If you remember, Newbie's always been that team that going into a TI or a major, they look so good. How many times have they won an event right before a major or TI? Yeah. Boston Major, bomb out, 16th place. Kiev Major, 16th again to Liquid, I believe. It's like every single time they disappoint. Last TI, they got 12th to Liquid. And it's like this time around, you won Galaxy battles. You won the other LAN against, what was it, NP that they played against?
Oh, was that Zotac?
Yeah, they won the Zotac Cup. They won 2 LANs in a row coming into this. Like, prove yourselves. Show that you are a team that has it all together.
So a proving ground for both teams. One, of course, OG's hunger is unparalleled, I believe, at this point in time. When you get the majors, you get all of those steps, and you just can't quite find that crescendo, that Aegis, that title that would truly cement you into the history books of Dota. Though they may be there already.
They're probably there already.
I mean, there is no argument.
If you win 4 out of 5 majors and you don't do well at a TI, then you don't feel good.
You don't
As a team,
you don't feel good, but I mean, you gotta be in the books already, right? I mean, they've won 4 out of 5 majors.
Yeah, but
it's
from,
like you
I
can't
think from
go
their
to a major.
Yeah.
There's a higher chance that OG wins a major than any other team combined.
But it's TI.
But it's exactly.
TI.
If you don't win a TI, then the year I looked at Moon's face after they won 2 majors last year. After he bombed out a TI, it meant nothing. The year meant nothing. It felt like it was a waste.
It's like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a parallel from somewhere else. It's like the, oh God, I don't even know American sports. The Super Bowl. It's in tennis. It's for some reason it's that Wimbledon. Though there are Grand Slams all over the place. Getting that one on the grass, this one with the crowd, with the history attached to it as well. I mean, think about it. Look how far we've come from TI1 to TI7 as well. The game has grown with you as the players have got older. The tournament has got older and has got bigger, and it's just, I think, something that everyone, to have your name inscribed on that trophy is something.
All right. So how many majors would you have to win for it to equal a TI?
40.
40 majors.
If they win the next 4 years of majors, then OG,
That's not 40.
You won TI.
Well, there's like 11. Yeah, do the math. What checks out?
It's close
so
enough.
What, if they win
there's
all
11 now.
majors,
All right, that's true.
Yeah.
If they lose TI now and they win 11 majors,
then they can be, I'm sure, but at the same time, like, you'll be happy about it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, when you're winning the majors.
but would you be happy? You're winning a TI than winning 11 majors, like all 11 majors this year.
I have to ask you that, and CCNC, if you could know right now that you can win a TI or the 11 majors, you're taking the TI, right?
Yeah,
you're taking the TI as well.
I'll
You're
probably take the
competitive.
TI.
Exactly. That's why it just
Compare the titles. A major winner.
Yeah.
To a TI winner.
exactly.
Like,
But isn't that just a thing though? Isn't that just like isn't that just about the statement, right?
but it matters to the players, right? Like,
yeah, I guess, but is it, should it? If
It
you
should.
actually win for an entire year, all tournaments, even though like you will be obviously competing with the best teams,
Yeah.
you will have proven yourself on a longer period of time. Is it then just what TI is much more prestigious?
I think so.
And is that it?
I think the beauty of it is that it's so, like, you have this opportunity once a year, everything you've worked for, everything that you've kind of put your year into. I mean, you guys have tried, we've had you standing behind them, you got that win as a coaching role. Now you sit here, you're going to be back in the playing seat. You try everything, but either way, it culminates in TI. This is like this is the big one, the climax at the end. We always get there eventually, and we are getting there very shortly, in fact. It sounds like the players are going to be loading in, so we can kind of get our closing thoughts on this. One we've already agreed, OG hungrier than ever. Despite having no major issues, of course, we've talked about that 4 out of 5, but it doesn't mean anything.
Is that the second time you used that pun?
Oh, I didn't even mean to make a pun that time. They haven't had issues with majors.
Sure.
But yes, TI is where the hunger lies, and they are going to be clashing with Newbie. That is going to be their first game. In terms of draft, is there anything that fun could pop up in terms of where OG and Newbie may want to take this? What would your expectations be, Will, when we start talking draft?
I'd like to see Pit Lord again from Newbie. That was something I was like, are they just messing with us because they know they're going to TI? At Galaxy Battles, they were just picking Pit Lord all the time.
Did it work?
Like, yes, Alex, it destroyed us. We got knocked out of that tournament with it. Yeah, it was because of our NP strat, but I don't think they run it very often. So I guess it's a little bit different there. I'd like to see OG throw a little bit more flavor into the pool. Yeah. I think they're a little bit too comfortable yesterday.
Would you use the word vanilla with their draft?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're going to come back to what you're comfortable and what you won with. So I'd like to see them expand it a little bit, but we'll see.
No more Lich this time. Maybe the OG weren't the main offenders for that. But Pike, anything to add to the pile? I mean, like, there's nothing in the same vein as Liquid.
OG they do run their... sometimes do go with these, like, what, Visage, Arc Warden carries, somewhat unorthodox, right? So it could be fun to see those. At the same time, I feel like I haven't seen them have that much success with this Arc Warden, I think. Yeah. So for their sake, maybe not. I don't know. But, I mean, Noto plays some fun heroes. He played Pugna. Pugna was 5 out of 5, right?
Yeah, 5 out of 5.
He's 5 out of 5, so I wouldn't mind seeing some Pugna. He's pretty cool, you know?
I'm down.
He does his thing.
And drafts aside, predictions. What do we think? So, of course, it's best of 2 for anyone that's just joined us. You get 1 point on the table per win of a game. So that's the way it works. I'm thinking team names now, though, gents. What are you thinking? I'm looking at you in the middle, Will. Give me just give me a team name or give me a number.
I'm with my coaches stick together. We're like a union. 2-0 OG over Newbie. Newbie doesn't have a coach, to my knowledge. Mad all the way.
Okay. Coaches get you wins,
apparently. Definitely.
No argument there.
All the way.
And now, CCNC, you want to break the chain? You want to be the combo breaker? Or?
I think I'm going to say OG as well. Yeah. I think the most interesting thing about this game is that both teams play very slow, sort of like we talked about. And I think it's going to be about who can get away with more, because neither team really plays this really fast style. So both teams may be picking all of these greedy heroes, you know, playing very slow Dota. So there's potential for someone to, like, mix it up. And I think OG is more likely to mix it up.
So, I mean, surely that's common knowledge for the teams as well, right? So in your mind, do you not think there's a chance that, you know, Mad or someone is going to be like, let's play differently, let's bring the fight to them early, you know, and change their
I think there is potential for that.
But OG more so than Newbie?
Yeah, I think Newbie just almost always plays slow. They really like waiting. Do
you think that's something that can be exploited? Is something we'll discuss in the middle of the day? That's right. You'll be seeing more of us. We'll be joining you after the first 2 series to continue to talk about this one. At least the majority of us will. For now, though, let's jump in. It's time to kick off day 2 with your very first game on stream 1. 4 streams simultaneously, but this one has Newbie versus OG.
Thank you very much, Alex. And indeed, we're here ready to kick off another day of Dota on TI7 group stages. I'm OD Pixel. I'm going to be joined by Fogged, of course. And we're ready to take you through this first series. We've got Newbie versus OG. The draft is underway. Fogged, how are you doing?
Good morning, Owen.
Morning.
I'm doing great, dude. I'm just excited having some Newbie versus OG. This is a classic right here.
2 teams that are definitely as the panel, I'm sure, I've talked about towards the end of the group. And already, with the bans coming through, something that we're definitely seeing already at this TI, it's all about the individual teams, really. There are certainly these meta kind of big support picks, but other than that, you're looking at each team independently. You know, Newbie taking away this Spirit, Night Stalker that we know that OG like to do, and OG in return, bam, the Newbie classics, that Sand King, that Nyx Assassin that they're so good at utilizing, whether it's on KP or in the support role. And straight up, Wyvern, first pick. That's a bold one.
That is a bold one. It's a hero that's gotten buffed so much in the past. I'm surprised it wasn't picked after we saw the Arctic Burn got buffed. It got increased 3 seconds on the flight. Then Cold Embrace got buffed. And earlier than that, his Winter's Curse cooldown was reduced down to 80. So he has received several buffs and can definitely be one of the more prominent 5s, because so far all we've really seen is like Shadow Shaman. That's one of our exclusive 5s.
Yeah.
OG ran a Dazzle. We've seen a couple other ones, maybe like a Witch Doctor here and there or something like that. But for the most part, it's been Shadow Shaman across the board. But yeah, these bans are... Let's ban the 4s. Let's ban the roaming heroes. These are the ones that have been having the highest impact. They've been the ones that have been just the most impactful, particularly for Jerax, of course, from that Earth Spirit. But yeah, lots of respect coming from both these teams. Clearly banning out, Jerax's 2 heroes and then banning out Kaka and KP.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see as well how Newbie going to open. I mean, you mentioned the Shaman, something that we saw Faith picking up a few times yesterday. Definitely a chance that Newbie will just grab that in these opening 2 picks. You see, even these teams at the highest level of play, you can still feel the panic in them when that big old icy ball comes towards them in the team fights. They're just, splitting up frantically.
So this is like a OG staple right here. We've got the double saves on the 2 supports. This is like, I think, one of Fly's specialties. It's going all the way back to Frankfurt when they did like the Dazzle, pretty much like all their games.
Such a good answer to the Chain Frost.
Yeah, this was great answer to Chain Frost. Duel as well, pull them out. You have ways to kind of like interrupt through BKB as well with both of these heroes. So it's pretty good to have that already set up from your both supports. But they did reveal both of the supports right away off the bat.
That is true. I mean, the Battle of the Ice at the moment, we've got a Licha Wyvern and a Tusken here. It's getting nice and cool from both of the sides. See how it's
no, the Pugna ban.
I was going to say, no. you're going to be disappointed there. This is a hero, we were just looking at the stats. It had a pretty good day, wasn't it?
100% win rate 100%
win rate in what, 5 or 6 games, wasn't it?
5, yeah.
5 games.
5 games, 100%.
5 games, 100%.
We were on to something. We knew. A couple months ago. He's gotten a couple buffs, of course, so yeah. It was a hero that can definitely just steamroll games really quickly, so not too surprised. To see that one taken out, and yeah, OG ran it, and this lineup actually can already use it. You already have sustain from Wyvern. The Pugna can definitely fit in very well into what OG had.
Yeah, definitely. And one of those heroes again that's going to cause issues with the duel.
Yes.
Grepify, making it so it's very hard for the Legion to at least find those solo pickoffs that she'll hope to do so if she gets ahead.
And Pugna would force towers and not care about armor. The Lich armor wouldn't really be a thing that would be a factor to play versus the Nether Blasts.
Well, OG themselves now, certainly maybe going to look towards other heroes that a newbie would like to pick up that will complement the playstyle of the Legion Commander, that can secure those dual wins.
I like to see how completely different newbie is drafting than yesterday. Yesterday they actually just pretty much did the very similar stuff every game. It was the Shadow Shaman, the Rasta, their Sand King, their Tidehunter even, of course, for KP. But yeah, this time it's just a completely different approach right off the bat.
Tidehunter's still very much a possibility, I feel. Oh no. It's definitely always nice to look for something that's going to be able to work nicely with the Winter's Curse.
Yeah.
You know, as you mentioned, Enigma is one of them. We sometimes see the Shaker being utilized. Anything with those huge AoE ults that could follow through after.
Yeah.
The Winter's Curse, works as essentially a fantastic long-range vacuum. You can draw heroes in from a good distance and then get the chance to close in with the rest of your team. Def. Death Prophet being the ban out, a hero that we did see a fair bit of play, and a fair few bans I feel like yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Teams were starting to look towards it.
Oh wow. Okay, so we've got the Legion Silencer combo, so unable to really save when somebody does get dueled.
Yeah.
Winter Wyvern can't get the curse off, can't do Cold Embrace. Nothing like that. Same thing with the Snowball. So this is a good way to deal with the defensive supports.
Yeah,
When people
nice.
used to pick like the Dazzle, people would pick the Silencer a lot afterwards to deal with that because you can blow somebody up and not worry about Grave.
It's exactly as you said. It's a silencer, something that we. We see being picked up when you have like a hero like Batrider, Legion Commander, sort of like a pseudo bat in the fact you've got that jump in, get the kill, get the pick off, and time and time again in the past being picked up against any sort of dazzle saving strats, and that's exactly what OG are trying to do here. Some quick picks off the back of it as well.
Wow.
S4 Brewmaster coming into the fray, and Newbie, they
So-
will pick up the Bounty Hunter as their second support.
So Silencer core.
It looks It must be. Has to be. Unless we're going to see a carry Lich with that extra damage and that level 25 Scardy effect. Let's go.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be pretty sick. But yeah, Silencer core. I'd imagine a Newbie we
up with the Wyvern, so he can like be that pseudo initiator / counter initiator afterwards, and Tusk can be that like ghetto blink dagger, I guess you could say, to bring him into the fray to be able to get a good ulti off. And he can pierce all the way into the backlines onto the Silencer.
final pick for OG, and of course to be that. Whoa. Okay, so it's going to be an Ana Brew by the looks of it.
Ana Brew, right?
And an S4
Yeah.
clock. So we're going to get the mid brew. We are going to get the good old school S4 offlane clockwork. All right, I'm up for that. That's a bit of a pog champ there.
The clock is
All the plays. Going fully in on
definitely
the...
punish the Silencer. Like,
Yes.
you can see this. You can
Yeah.
find the Silencer with rockets all the time. You can get into that back line. That could be a really devastating pick. All 4 of these heroes actually suffer super hard. You can't really do anything. You get hooked. You're just trapped within that clockwork. I think this is a really strong pick for OG.
I'm liking OG's draft. Well, we'll see what they come through here. It's going to be the morph safe lane. So
Is that a first-time morph?
I think it must be. I'm pretty sure we didn't see any. Maybe there was one game that we missed.
No, there was one Morphling.
Okay, there's one game.
I got
Did it win?
excited. Morphling won, yes.
It did win.
One game it played.
100% win rate.
So we've got a Morphling versus AM already.
All right.
We're on day 2 of group stages,
Okay.
and we're getting Morphling
We're already
versus
getting-
AM.
I mean, we saw a lot of kind of the TI4 strats coming through yesterday with this heavy lane push. This is a game that's going to be kind of opposite. We could see this one go to the late and the big kind of late game Morphling versus late game AM.
So No-Tail's playing the Brew, and Ana's going to be playing the AM.
Okay, so...
They did this
just switching
yesterday
up?
with Death Prophet. No-Tail played the Death Prophet, and
Yeah.
Void
You're
was
right.
played by Ana.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
they're switching
Yeah.
the hard carry at least and letting Ana take that role, because that's the way that OG's always played, right?
They used to do a
No-Tail,
miracle, didn't they?
yeah, No-Tail was like, I call him Bro Tail because he doesn't really act as like the carry. He always helps out his teammates and sacrifices himself.
And it's true to be. Yeah, no. Out of the two of them, you would expect No-Tail to obviously be the better brew player.
Yeah.
So
the
you get
microer.
no yeah, absolutely. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be very exciting, this game one. We've got some No-Tail Brew, Anna AM, Newbie with obviously the SCCC morph. So, I mean, I imagine, is that going to be them swapping lanes as well? SCCC will go safe lane with the morph, and you put the
They just
silence
swapped
from
it. They were waiting
oh,
for like the last
swapped.
minute.
Okay,
Yeah.
they have just swapped. Yeah, you're right. So catching yourself there. So it will be, yeah, SCCC playing the mid silencer, Mugi taking the morphling to the safe lane. Wow.
Oh, they reswapped again.
Oh, they reswapped. Oh my god, guys, come on, Newbie. You're breaking my balls.
They were playing with your mind.
Right, so
all right,
Mugi is on the silencer. So yeah, is he going to take the morphling mid against the... I guess it'd be bad against the Brew, or...
I mean, maybe they do the Lich Morphling, right?
Sure, they could
Old
run the
school
dual
classic.
mid.
Yeah, that's something we used to see very often. It can... I mean, it's not like... Ideally, when you're playing with the Lich, you want to be punishing a lane, so I don't know if maybe he'll start with KP, so you can actually, like, you know, make the anti-mage suffer a bit, but maybe he starts mid for a couple waves and then goes towards that top lane. But all right. We're underway, Owen. I'm genuinely pretty happy with the drafts we got, because I haven't seen a lot of these heroes, actually. I hadn't seen Morphling in a while, hadn't seen the Brewmaster in quite a bit. We'll see what's going to actually end up happening, but I am favoring OGs a bit, just because I think Newbies is very strong in laning phasing if they can come out, but they've got like no disable versus an anti-mage. It's pretty much just global and a Legion Commander duel to actually lock him down if he gets out of control, and that can be pretty devastating. That being said, though, OG doesn't really have a crazy amount of stunt to deal with the Morphling.
Yeah, I was
so
going to say the other way around. Yeah, absolutely.
it's really dependent on how the early game goes and who gets the better free farm. Because AM versus Morphling, though, AM, not only does he farm faster, getting trapped up in the shards again, and with that mana here, being able to get anything. While in comparison, S4 should have a great time down here. It's a bounty hunter silencer lane, and he's a clockwork. He's always able to pull it back. Even if he can isolate the silencer, or the bounty hunter, he can kill them pretty easily if he's not invisible, of course. Once he gets a few levels.
Pushing the same as well, yeah, No-Tail. Really doing an excellent job of controlling this mid.
Yeah, really important that he gets Drunken Haze in this matchup. Low mana cost. He's going to be able to last hit with his right clicks anyway, because they can't really pressure him with these two heroes just yet. Once they start getting some more levels, they can, but the Drunken Haze is just going to make SCCC's life much harder last hitting under the tower with that mystery.
We'll see when we start to see, you know, obviously OG's to support, they headed back up top to just make sure that Anna's going to be all right, but obviously with the way that they bullied KP out already, they can start to move, and here we go.
They know he's jungling. I mean, he's got nowhere else to go. They see his 2-minute mark. They want to contest the bounty. They see him there. They're going to be able to trap him up and slow him down.
He's going to be in a lot of trouble there, KP. I don't know if he gets out. He will be able to grab the bounty ring on his way down, but they're blocking him up, bringing him down very, very low. Looks like, again, he will get away, but still, it's a lot of time that KP's being bullied consistently out of that top lane, and now out of that jungle as well. Lane, starting to see the tables turn a little bit as we saw Faith and SCCC able to harass No-Tail back. Makes him pop the sound. Got the haste rune as well, so we can get in for a cheeky bit of harassment, forcing No-Tail back, and now SCCC has been allowed the space to catch back up in CS. in the
Low-Tail's
matchup.
still doing fantastic. 11 and 3 with this dual lane. He's gonna suffer on the experience department though, since it's a dual lane mid. The Morphling and Lich are gonna, I mean, since it's a Lich dual lane mid, they're still gonna be ahead of him in experience, even though it's versus the solo, or just about even, especially if they get a couple extra denies.
Bottom lane, S4 is in trouble. The curse is upon him. Kaka chasing him down with that Orb of Venom, so it's gonna be close. S4, well, actually enough there, regenning up. So we'll get away. Kaka not quite with the movement speed to catch up the clock. S4 survives. Top lane once again. I mean, we keep looking up here. You got to feel bad for KP. He's just constantly getting beaten down upon by this tri-lane.
Playing off lane versus Mana Break
Feels
and
pretty
Arctic
bad.
Burn, that feels pretty bad. Like, my percentage of my HP is going down, all my mana's gone. JerAx is now in position, they know KP's low, and they have their level 2s now. So they've got Splinter Pass, they've got Snowball.
Yeah, they're wrapping around for this. They
knows.
really want to go fully in on KP.
Yeah, he knows something's up.
I mean, he's certainly playing it safe in the matter that, he's not dying. He's still getting the levels, level 3 at the moment, so the XP isn't looking too bad for him at all. Obviously just not getting farm, but, just getting that level 6. Anna puts himself up first blood.
Kaka's trying.
He's going to get it.
He's got it.
He's got it indeed. That is the bottle. 2 obses. That's a
However, Newbie does not really have like the biggest rotation heroes. The Bounty's the only one who's really going to be moving across the map. So the wards that OG loses in some games could be really devastating at this point in the game if you're playing versus like dual roaming supports, but in this game it's much more static lanes, so that hurts of course, but it could be worse if it was like a different kind of, double supports that OG or that Newbie had.
So 4.5 minutes. So looking at the CS, pretty close across the board. Just No-Tail slightly behind. Looking at the 2 offlaners, but at the end of the day, KP's actually getting more CS out of the lane than S4 is. So we have some obviously S4 the only one to die. So no, sorry, he didn't die. Did he? Coming very close to dying.
Yeah, it was just KP so far.
Yeah, just KP.
And here we go. First nighttime smoke rotation. They actually see the ward despawn in the mid lane too, so they now know that Kaka had placed that one earlier. And they know that S4 is really strong right now. Like a snowball clockwork onto a Sancer, instantly dead. There's actually no way that they can survive that unless there's some weird cog interaction happens with shards.
There's no sort of save. Here we go.
Yeah, they're ready.
Kaka knows that he's going to have eyes upon them, but they're the shard. That's absolutely perfect. They've got the battery assault coming in over the walls of the igloo. Kaka's trying to come back in for a bit of interaction. The curse is bringing them relatively low, but it's almost certainly going to be Mugi the first to go down as S4 chases him with the battery assault. The snowball connection onto 2. No, it looks, he's going to get out.
The ice armor.
Oh my, the slow is too much. And in fact, S4's trying to stick around, but they turn with the glaives, and at the end of the day, they've lost the tusk. They're potentially going to lose S4 as well. One more touch from Faith will do it if he can get him right there. I can't believe they didn't get the kill. That OG not getting away with it.
S4 couldn't get in to get all the battery assault damage on him since he was trapped in that side there. And then the Lich TP's down. I think the Sancer also buys treads from the side and had several wand charges. So he tread swaps, gets the wand, and then the Lich armor plays its favor with factor where they can't walk up and actually get those extra right clicks off. That's very surprising he lives there, and that's a huge failed rotation by OG.
Playing again, Kaka coming in for a bit of harassment. Has the boys with him. Faith and Kaka will go in. There's a snowball trying to buy time for No-Tail, but No-Tail still goes down. Range from SCCC comes into play as he brings down the Brewmaster. Newbie taking control of that bottom and mid lane. Still, definitely the big issue for Newbie would be the fact that this AM is getting free farm. And it's an anti-mage. Anna is on track for a good Battle Fury treads timing at this pace. Consistently bullying KP out of the lane as well.
Kaka gets trapped up, but the dust was actually off the mark. It looks like JerAx used it, but he was not in range to clip Kaka with it. Unfortunate there again for OG. So yeah, the anti-mage is free farming, but the trade-off, it's the Morphling who's also free farming, and these are the two heroes that they match pretty interesting versus each other into like later stages of the game. It depends on who gets which item timing first and who can force towers and force the pressure earlier.
Was KP with his Talon, poor man's and boots, utilizing that jungle as well, just trying to find that level 6. Maybe potentially look for some sort of play. They've brought Lich up to the top lane as well, looking to get him some levels, work towards the Chain Frost. Mugi as well, being given the safe lane. himself very, very close to that level 6 now, so the supports have left him alone. Does, of course, leave him vulnerable. And it looks like OG realized this, as they are coming in with a rotation. They scan him out.
Nope.
They know that something's behind there, and they're going to assume that it is just Mugi, because, yeah, no tell, he is ready to go in deep. Already behind the tower, they have the ward down to try and make this very safe to fight. Throw in the flare, and bam, S4 on target there, coming in with the hook shot, and a very, very clean kill there from OG, realizing the opportunity was there, just waiting for them on a play, and they take it.
Can they pressure the tower off it, though? It's a very healthy tower. This is not like a 5-minute rotation with a catapult. It's just an 8-minute rotation toward the end of the nighttime. So they're going to get a decent amount of damage on it, but I don't think they'll be able to bring it down in this siege. Unless they heavily commit for it. But it doesn't look like they will be.
Back up on the prowl again. Eyes upon Fly, but as we can see at the moment, the majority of Newbie up towards the top lane, where we're actually seeing Mugi start to head. So he's going to head up there and join KP and Faye.
Okay.
Leaving that bottom lane totally behind. Mid lane, we're potentially see a bit of a clash as they start to come in as well, the two of them.
So No-Tail's heavily committing for bottom tower. He's just cutting the creep wave, and he's going to try to at least force it. Top lane, though, they have
going in here with the duel and the chain force. They've got it. The surprise there for Anna. Potentially didn't quite expect Mugi to be in the neighborhood. So felt that KP wouldn't go for the duel, but yeah, Newbie had it. They had the damage. That's a massive kill for Newbie. Definitely the biggest issue for them. They need to try and slow down this anti-mage.
That's one of those smart rotations. You know, it's, my safe lane's invaded. I can't farm well there.
Ooh.
I'm just going to the enemy safe lane.
Mid lane, SCCC quick with the waveform, nearly getting caught out by S4. I mean, even if he did get caught out by the hook shot, it's still, you know, potentially very hard at this stage for OG to fully lock down the Morphling.
Oogie's getting right-click down. Pretty hard by this anti-mage. If there was any other help there, the mana void would have been enough to push him out. Yeah, KP farming super well though in this off lane. 1,300 gold. $800 gold from that blink dagger already, top 3 net worth.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, considering, you know, how heavily he was being bullied out at the start, he's played it very smartly, this top lane, KP. You're right, he's going to be on track to hit a very nice blink dagger timing. And as we've seen, they do have the damage to bring down an anti-mage during that duel. Gets a catch, they'll get it. Mugi with his build, looking towards the Midas option. Full greed on the silencer.
Crisp rotation coming out from OG, making the space for Ana. He takes the tower. None of them get denied. Must be feeling pretty good about himself. Only one more piece for that Battle Fury.
Could have a little bit of trouble on his hand. SCCC is there with the waveform forward. Doesn't quite have enough magical to burst him down. We'll stick around. For the kill, but Anna's going to be there to try and back him up. Fly will survive for the time being. SCCC has to get out there. No, the Shuriken! Bounce from Kaka. Beautifully done. Gets the kill onto Kaka, but will look to punish. They turn towards Faith. S4 with the cog pushback sets up for a second kill. So OG will take 2 in return. Hotel is around with SCCC for a little bit, but SCCC doesn't stick around. TP's out, gets himself back to safety.
Ana getting involved on kills. That's the dream right there. 700 gold for the Battle Fury. And we have No-Tail about to... Actually, No-Tail already has the blink.
He's got the blink.
And he bought himself like dust and stuff too. I mean, he always does this kind of thing where he's very supportive of it for his team.
10 seconds until the split is back up. No-Tail will certainly be ready to rumble. I mean, we've seen OG, you know, they have a fantastic lineup to just look for fights between. No-Tail with his blink, S4 with the hook shot.
Yeah, they have to find
Shards.
they have to like be making those moves though. Every time like Clockwork Hook is up, they have to, or Panda ult is up, they have to be making plays so that the anti-mage can get as much space as possible. But Newbie also has that fast-paced kind of lineup with the Chain Frost, with the duel, and with of course the Bounty Hunter track.
A lot of ways they can benefit of finding these kills. KP smoke will be dispelled. S4's on the high ground. There's the jump, and KP does get the duel. The global silence as well, making sure that OG can't react immediately. That's going to be one down. Can they get any more? Jax and Ana jumping forward. The Sharp Bug and the Mana Void bringing Faith and KP down incredibly low. Faith still survives. Though the ice armor too strong. S-Triple-C playing around at 1 HP. Their waveforms forward, gets the double kill. Now trying to turn towards Jirax, but the No-Tail primal split is causing issues. S-Triple-C still manning up though. The track's out. The Shuriken bounce is bringing. Jarek's very low along with Fly. Newbie, they continue to push on forward. They're not holding back yet. KP throws in the nuke, not quite enough to bring down Fly. Jarek throws out the shards. Not going to clip onto anyone, but he will get the dust out onto Cat. Goes forward with the snowball, brings in S4. No-Tail jumps up to the high ground. They will take down Kaka in return. So they get something out of this. But they lost Ana. Definitely the big casualty amongst it all.
And S-Triple-C got the kill on Ana.
He was literally waveforming in on 1 HP.
1 HP, I think he had a 17 charge once.
Yeah. He played next after the Lincolns, putting some pressure on the top lane. No-Tail's there to play around with him. There is backup for Newbie coming in, so they could look to try and tackle No-Tail. He doesn't have Primal Split available for 30 seconds. Has to be careful on this defense. And indeed he will. Blinks back, keeps himself away. Newbie are bringing the full team up for this tier 2 push. Trying to just force the issue while some of these ults, well, I say only the Primal Split, but still it's a big ult for OG not to have, as they do require it for these team fights.
We'll press the attack, Morphling split pushing. That is... That tower drops damn fast. S-Triple-C should be able to pressure this one down top. Doesn't really look like OG cares to try to defend that, since they know all of Newbie is in the vicinity. They're probably sure too.
I mean, OG probably still feeling quite comfortable in the sense that Ana is really moving along at a great pace. He has the Yasha done, you know, that with the treads and the Battle Fury, that, you know, that's the point where you're feeling relatively comfortable. Obviously, once he has the Manta, that's when he's going to be feeling super happy and knows that he can pretty much go anywhere without being seriously pressured on the map. Yeah, OG, they're coming in for some action. Kaka, they're spotting it out. S4 goes across with the hookshot. There's the global as well in response as Newbie look to turn. Jerax pulling low with the curse. Zip forward from S-Triple-C. No-Tail does still get off the primal split. Jerax is going to be the first to fall. No-Tail turning his attention towards S-Triple-C. Back in the river. KP has found S4. They'll find a second. Chain Frost starts to bounce around the illusions. Mugi turns towards Fly. Fly keeps himself alive though with the Winter's Curse. Out onto Mugi. The Cold Embrace on himself. It's not enough to stay alive for the full duration of the fight though, as SCCC wave forms forward, picks up another. You've got to bear in mind as well, it's 11 for 11, but we're seeing that 6k difference because of the bounty, the track gold really coming into play here. Every kill pretty much in these team fights being a track kill.
And the global just playing such a huge factor. OG just, they are really lacking damage between their four right now. The Wyvern, Tusk, Clock, and Panda, it's just an absolute like lack of damage versus what Newbie actually has. Like, they don't have the catch for the Morphling, and they need to pretty much have everything go off at the same time. Like, they need to find this silencer. This global is just completely destroying them in these fights. Unable to get the proper follow-up.
Now we're going to see Newbie themselves try and push for another fight, even without that global silence. Feeling as confident as they are because of the lead they have. Power on small. Mid lane's going to be the target, potentially. Jerax and Fly pushing the wave out. Kaka scouting out for the team, and there's KP with the jump. And straight away, looking for the Wyvern, and he is gone.
And they're going to get Jerax
Looks like they will as well. He had to get himself in the snowballs, maybe looking to do some sort of save, but it's not going to come, and more kills going the way of SCCC, picking up a double. Still 2k ahead of this anti-mage. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an anti-mage with a Battle Fury and all the farming items. When he's being pitted up against this core that's getting so damn involved. Newbie are playing so well around this Morphling. They're getting the kills, they're getting the map control. Now they're getting the objectives as they head into the pit. S4 is there. We could see S4 go for a PogChamp play.
They've got to try. They should
Is he going to do it?
This game.
There we go. Is he going to try for it? There he goes. Coming in. The Legion's low. KP will get forced out the side. Oh, no. I mean, the Winter's Curse was on him, but he gets forced out of the cog, so none of his team actually hit upon him. The Chain Frost is out onto the Primal Split. There's the Global. Anna's in trouble in the midst of it all. Mugi turning with the Glaze, bringing the AM down. He's gone. This had ended up being an absolute mess so far. I mean, NoTail is trying to keep find a kill, but he's not going to get it. As Newbie find the Roshan, get the Aegis. NoTail blinks himself out. I mean, they got KP, they do get the Lich as well, but at the end of the day, that's not what OG needed. They lose S4, they lose Anna, they don't steal Roche or the Aegis. And I mean, that was just, you know, but he came in with the cogs. There was the Winter's Curse, and it pushed him away from the team. So the Winter's Curse just didn't attract anyone's attention. We're going to see it here again on the replay, Fog.
If it was different, it could have
been
changed
huge.
Everything. It could have really changed absolutely everything. Because NoTail had like the perfect setup if that was the case, to be able to get everybody. He already almost, look how low everybody actually got there. Imagine if that curse did go off, or if the curse was hitting in the proper time.
They would have just had that bit better of control to follow up, having the four of them grouped up as much as they were.
Perhaps
SCCC surviving.
Perhaps the global doesn't come out at that time because of the curse, so Ana doesn't die, because Ana blinks in, the global comes out, and then an anti-mage, or SCCC makes an anti-mage replicate of him, burning his mana down, and then just the right clicks are too much for him to deal with on top of that global. But Mugi has been in the perfect position to get them off in this game.
And what actually pushed him out of the cogs?
I think he just got put in a...
Just a very weird... Oh, maybe, did he get forced out?
I didn't see if the silencer actually...
If it was Mugi, that was a pretty tight play.
Yeah.
On bottom lane, Faith is on his own. OG will find the kill. Catch out the Lich. More 4-stars being picked up. Maybe seeing the benefit of it after that last fight.
SCCC is so damn massive. There's the scary thing about dealing with these type of morphs in comparison to an anti-mage is if you're at this point where you're ahead like this, especially like versus like Wyvern, the Ethereal Blade just can kill any of the supports. NoTail top.
That's going to be more damage in the bank for KP. As they find another, I mean, KP, he's been playing really solid this game. We saw a lot of attention being thrown his way at the start. You know, all three of OG focusing that top lane in the laning stage.
Every game that I've actually seen Newbie playing recently, KP is just always at the top of his game. Yeah, always just having spectacular performances.
Bottom lane, Jerax again getting caught out. This is, I mean, SCCC is just running away with this game. He's yet to die. He's 8-0-3 on the Morphling.
Almost 10 CS a minute as well. Keeping it up to par with the anti-mage and getting track kills on top.
Now, obviously, if OG can slow this down and Anna does continue to farm at the rate he is, they definitely do have this incredibly strong force to pit against the Morphling.
Yeah, but the Clockwork is literally stagnated completely. His farm is gone. Bounty Hunter is already 2,000 gold ahead of him. Newbie already has 1, 2, 3, and is that 4 steps? 3 4 steps already on their team to deal with S4's Clockwork, and they can really do so much with that to actually force the engagements away, because Clockwork is pretty much one of the only real stuns / disable that OG does have.
Oh, KP, a little bit of a blunder there. Jumps forward, looking for the blink, but SCCC, he's diving in behind the tier 2 here. He's getting incredibly aggressive. Will get chucked up in the air by No-Tail's primal split. Have they got any sort of control to finish him off, though? The rest of Newbie backing off. SCCC just turns, nukes down Fly there with the Ethereal Blade. Newbie, they're not done. They look towards Jarex. He has got the shrine. Newbie will hold back. Again, they get in for a quick pick. With the jump back from No-Tail, goes for the TP out, will make it, nothing to cancel it.
I think they realized, like, as soon as they engaged, it seemed like Ana was on point with being like, hey, yeah, we can't fight this, and he just blinks out and starts going bottom. And yeah, they're feeling the problem of the lack of disables on OG as well.
And that was, you know, Newbie getting a fight, getting an objective with a bit of a whiffed initiation. KP jumps into the trees. They don't even need to use Global Silence, but still OG are unable to take the fight in return. And that was as well, No-Tail using the primal split, not really being able to get much out of it in return for what Newbie found themselves.
They just got to keep stalling for anti-mates to catch up now with how much of a deficit they're at.
12k gold lead at the moment for Newbie, 25 minutes in. Quite the lead indeed. I mean, the bounty pick really, obviously, is emphasizing this net worth lead that they've managed to gain. Kaka being in the right place in the right time. As I said, I'd be interested to see. I feel like very few of these kills have been without the track bonus.
Yeah.
He's always been there placing it out.
They've just been having really good decision-making with their movements. Like that first initial movement to pressure the anti-mage and just the way that how invasive they've been playing in the enemy jungle. It's always them being on the aggression. You don't see these guys hesitating whatsoever. It's only the Morphling pretty much reacting to any type of split push at all.
Got the Blink Dagger now on Jarek, so that obviously extra bit of save potential. That obviously that has kind of been missing, you know, where we've seen KP jump in and he's felt that he's been able to do this without the global, but now there's an extra bit of chance for OG to react, pull off the saving plays.
Yeah. I mean, if OG can ever get themselves some Lotus Orbs, some Glimmer Capes or something, they have great ways to be able to counter, of course, the global, and then that's where they can actually deal with the duels. But until then, which is quite a ways away, it's going to be really hard for them to fight into global unless they find the silencer. And Mugi does not feel, I mean, they don't feel very rushed right now. Newbie's starting to chill out a bit. They still had Aegis for a moment, so they're just making sure they can press their advantage even more and just play the economy game.
Mugi, of course, with the build, getting the Hurricane Pike and now the Shadow Blade, just having that elusiveness, having that almost certainty, being able to get the global silence out. And just make it that harder for OG to find him at the back lines at the start of fights.
And if
Shadow Blade.
And if you can get a Silver Edge eventually, it's super good versus Panda and Ant.
Yeah, that's
being
true.
able to dispel the Spell Shield and the, of course, Drunken Brawler. That's pretty good choice, because then it forces Clockwork also to have a reveal if he gets in the back lines too. He already has Hurricane Pike to get out of the cog, so definitely going for a nice item choice right in this game for Mugi. Ana still trying to continue the split push, but it's pretty much Ana the only one who can actually leave the base. Everyone else on OG is pretty much reserved to their side of the map.
No-Tail looking build towards that Hex next. Have some sort of an answer for SCCC, but SCCC continues to get bigger and bigger, very close to having a complete Mantis style as well. Top of that Lincoln blade that he already has at this pre-30-minute mark. On the mid lane, Morphling, of course, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Not even a safe lane.
Well, dual lane, but
sure, yeah.
Because of the Lich. SCCC, they've got eyes on him bottom, but he's close to his tower, and they don't have enough lockdown to really control him. Maybe now
they're... What can OG find with this? It's so hard for them to fight. Newbie are going to smoke
wants to
up.
fight here. They drew the line as well.
OG have the high ground, but Newbie, they have the numbers here. Kaka up straight away. There's the jump, but immediately the global silence comes out, and No-Tail, he just gets ripped to pieces. He can't afford to jump in like that with the global still at availability. The Winter's Curse is out, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to be enough damage for the KP's own team to bring him down. And OG, they've not only lost two, they're going to lose Jerax as well.
And they don't even kill Kaka.
Yeah, they...
Because he just force stabs after they get it because they don't have the control, and the global just absolutely perfect for Mugi again.
I don't know what the plan was there for. I mean, how jumping in like that, how do you not expect the Global to come out? Are you just hoping that S4 somehow magically finds his way towards the silent side? That the Global's always going to be there in response, and you know as this Brood that you're not going to be able to use any of your spells.
They were trying to separate the fight, clearly. You know, the Ice Shards came out, they tried to trap the Bounty Hunter there and split the fight up with the Brewmaster on the left side. But yeah, the instant Global, Brewmaster, can you get split off, just dies in no time to the duel because how much damage Newbie already has, and the fight's already over once Panda doesn't get split off in those type of situations.
Not the fight at all that OG were looking for with that smoke, and the lead just continues to grow here for Newbie.
The Silencer Legion Commander duo is just proving too damn strong right now. 15k gold lead for Newbie. So many deep aggressive wards away as well from Kaka.
It feels like a really smart draft from Newbie. It also feels as well that, you know, obviously with OG, they did pick up that Wyvern as the first pick, but
yep.
it feels like it's just not been able to do anything this game. We're seeing the Winter's Curse at this stage just because of the Ice Armor, because of the Legion being able to buff up and stuff, but the fact these heroes are pretty beefy, they just don't die to one another.
I mean, that's a really good point. I didn't even say that when I was thinking about it too. The Winter's Curse into Lich Armor. Lich Armor is incredibly good versus all that because of how much it negates, so that's a really good call.
I mean, they're coming back here. I'm surprised they don't have a bit of PTSD at this area of the map. They're looking for another play, and they know that Global's still not quite back up. Anna does have that DD rune. See what it can do, though.
Oh, it's a replicant.
Did OG have their breakfast today? I mean, says 4, he comes in, he does get the 2-man hook shot on the cogs, but Anna jumping in, looking towards KP, the Chain Frost is thrown back out, but OG do bring down the Legion. Can they get anything more out of this? Faith being focused by the illusions. Kaka's out to the top. Does get dusted. Notel will blink back. Look for the chase down there, but SCCC now coming in. Going to get the big kills. He blows up one. He's looking towards Fly. Flies there with the cold embrace, but still the Glaive Pure flies through as they find another. It's a bit of +2 for Mugi. So, I mean, they get the Legion, but still they're not finding the favorable trade. They're losing 2, they're losing track kills. Roshan literally just spawns. It couldn't be any more perfect for Newbie.
They almost had a good fight going for them for OG.
Almost.
It was very close to looking damn good for them, but then as soon as SCCC shows up, everything gets turned around, and that was the fight without Global. Now Global's online, and now they're going to be playing into Aegis and Cheese on a Morphling that is extremely difficult to play into. He's already pretty much impossible to kill.
Motel being eyed up here, but Sentry and Obs down. He knows the Kaka's there in the neighborhood, instantly gets himself out, not looking to mess around with Newbie. CCC so damn massive. Stage, keeping himself ahead of what essentially has still been a free farming anti-mage. You know, Anna's not really been put under too much pressure in terms of AM progression. He's not in an amazing place, but he's not in a bad place at all. This is still good farm for the AM. Yeah, which just then goes to accentuate how far ahead SCCC is. SCCC, he's got 3 around him, but he's a Morphling. He's out of there. What are you going to do? There's nothing they can.
Yep.
At least until that Hex comes out. Then maybe they've got a chance at counts.
Yeah, once they get the Hex, once they get the Abyssal Blade, it can make a big difference, and they can actually burn him down. And he's, you know, he's a Morphling, so Morphlings always end up having a big chunk of mana pool, as we were talking about. He's going for the Eye of Skadi as well in the next build, so he's going to be sitting over like 1,500 mana pool. If he's actually burned down, the Mana Void can be extremely crippling. They are 16,000 ahead, but there's still some signs of life for OG.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've still got the tier 2 bottom. They're obviously yet to lose a tier 3, and they do still have that anti-mage on par with SCCC's Morph. I know.
It's just about dealing with all of them, you know, the combination of the Legion, the Silencer, and the Morph. Mostly it's the Morph, but the Globals have been playing super big factors. They defend top tower. Newbie. While Anna continues to farm it up, almost level 25. Almost has the Abyssal Blade finished up too, on top of the Lincolns.
And as you say, yeah, with that, and how's Notel looking on the scythe?
He's on his way. He's still about 2,000 gold away, but once he gets
Still
it, that's an instant disable that they can really use. The thing is that, what we were talking about, Newbie has 3 Force Staffs super early in the game. So Force Staff, of course, very good versus Clockwork, but also can be extremely good versus Hexes. If someone gets Hexed up, you just like double force them out of the engagement, and yeah, they're not really stunned or locked down in a place. They can keep kind of moving around. We do have KP now finishing that Halberd, so they have the way to break the Lincolns on the Anti-Mage to get those duels for Newbie if he's able to isolate him.
seeing as well. Yeah. Scouting out Anna. Anna is alone at the moment in his jungle.
Got the basher. He's trying to put a little pressure in SCCC.
Jump for SCCC. The rest of the team coming across. Anna, the whereabouts of it, just blinking forward, continuing to cut the wave. Newbie do continue to head up this way, sweeping around, but yeah, Anna's out. Cuts the wave, blinks off to the sideline, TP's back to safety.
And he's going to go play in the enemy jungle now. Go all the way bottom, push that lane out, take the enemy jungle as much as you can. Well, I mean, the rest of OG pretty much just have to sit and let the lanes kind of push into them naturally and get some farm, because yeah, they can't really venture too far outside now on OG. If they do, they're just going to get picked off like this by SCCC with the E-Blade. Dead.
Oi, oi, oi. It's a lot of damage.
Gotta watch yourself. It's anyone who goes out there now at this point can be brought down by the combo. Except for Anti-Mage.
SCCC. It's incredible. I mean, what's he going to go for after Stardy? What's next on his shopping
Can
list?
do Butterfly or BKB. He's going to be doing the BKB.
Okay.
Much safer versus the Anti-Mage. You don't want to kill your teammates with a Mana Void or just get caught off guard into that. So they do have Aegis for about another minute and a half or so.
Nana's doing his best here in terms of cutting the waves, making it as hard as possible for Newbie to break that high ground. Creeps have already gone, fortifications out, and the push will be stopped thanks to Anna. Constantly keeping the pressure on despite the position of the rest of his team.
Super nice play there, cutting the creep wave. That would have been
making all the difference.
For sure, tier 3 tower, some damage on the racks as well.
So he's got that money now for the Abyssal Blade completion. Forcing TP's back if KP has to head in, deal with the push.
Hey, maybe they might even go for a fight with this Abyssal. I mean, they're still a bit away from like the Hex, but that's a surprise right there. You can really pick, you can just catch the Morphling off guard if you do have sights of him. And it looks like they're going to be doing a group venture to clear out their woods. I didn't see if they picked up a gem. I don't. Okay, so Tusk does have a gem, so they're trying to clear that vision out of their jungle.
If SCCC reveals himself,
does have Agent still.
He does, and he does still have the replica to go out to, so he's immediately out of that.
Agent's is going to be reclaimed in about 10 seconds though, so now it's. You know, it still can be a bit fearful. You get caught with one Abyssal Blade, and you're pretty much dead as this Morphling. They just need to be able to break the Linken's first.
That's the big thing. And obviously, AM himself can't really do so, you know, with the cast animation, the Mana Void, SCCC is going to be quick fingers to get out before that Abyssal Blade comes in after it. Definitely need the couple of them. Obviously, the big one as well being that
900 more. Almost there. 900 more gold for that Hex.
And as we were saying, if they kill SCCC, he is going to be worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I mean, they have a 20k gold lead. They're going to get a big chunk there.
And he's still yet to die, right, isn't he? He's got 0 deaths on this one.
Yeah, 1204.
1204, 20k gold lead. I'm going to be interested to see how much money it gives away. It's going to be a lot.
I'm wondering this game if he goes for the 50% replicate damage. I think you should. I think the 400 waveform range is always great, but you're playing versus an Anti-Mage this game. Like, that Anti-Mage is going to be scaling super hard. That can actually play a big factor into it too. You know, that replicated Anti-Mage who's 6-slotted can actually just pretty much kill the heroes on OG. They have nothing to do with that illusion.
See what the plan is here. And what does he go for? Can't quite see on this bugged one.
He does take, he does take the replicate damage. That was as expected.
As you said.
If you're playing versus late game Agi carry as a Morphling, it's pretty telltale that you should go for the replicate damage majority of the time. So it looks like Satanic is maybe going to be the next item for SCCC. He does have the mask, but he's at it for a while. He might just still go for the BKB, I think, though.
I think definitely once you see, I mean, if No-Tail reveals that the Hex is now pretty much complete, because he is closing out the money, definitely then.
He's holding on to gold on the Morphling, though. He's still trying to make which decision he wants to make. So Hex now done. They actually have a real form of lockdown on side OG.
See what SCCC's response is going to be in terms of items.
So also in that last engagement, we didn't really say anything about it, but we did know that Mugi did not go for the Shadow Blade. He went for that BKB.
Oh, he did
use it earlier, and he's going to be building toward a Hex, which he actually is about to have. So that can also be extremely impactful, the Sheepstick versus the Anti-Mage.
As we talked about as well, SCCC with ways to work around the Hex, but obviously in return, being the fact that No-Tail himself was the one to invest in his own, he doesn't have a lot of ways, well, he himself doesn't have much ways at all of doing anything about being hexed. It does have sort of backup, you know, maybe a Cold Embrace and a Winter's Curse can kind of keep him off him for the duration and still allow the time for him to have that primal split, but obviously in the state that OG's team is in comparison to newbies, it's a lot harder for N0tail to get something done in these fights than it is for SCCC.
They can find that silencer and isolate him before the global. That can be their big window to get back into the game. I've just been watching this Legion Commander replicate bottom lane actually push lanes out because it gets the moment of courage procs.
I bet he's getting a lot out of that, yeah.
It actually pushed this whole wave out bottom.
Easy farm. Still, yeah, SCCC keeping himself ahead of the anti-mage. Not a lot of times that we see the AM not being top spot, especially when it is an AM that is, as we've been saying, he's still farming. He's got 520 CS at 39 minutes. It's not bad. It really is just testament to how well SCCC is doing this game.
Yeah. So we've got Lotus Orb soon for Jerax. That can be absolutely massive. Just be able to remove the global and be able to, you know, switch the way the initiation comes off with the snowball.
Well, that's what SCCC actually going for the MKB, so not the BKB.
Okay.
Has
so
the Demon Edge in his pocket.
Guess he must have seen Ana pick up the Talisman of Evasion and went for that decision instead to be able to actually do damage to him.
I guess feeling confident enough in having the E-Blade, the Lincolns, and the Manta that he knows he has ways to play around those sort of single target lockdowns. OG immediately out with the TP from the top lane, did start to push around, but as soon as they're aware that newbie was sweeping over towards them, they're out of there.
Yeah, they saw
safety.
They saw nothing on the map, right? Bottom, they only saw the replicate for a bit. Mid lane was starting to push in. They were pushing top pretty heavily, and there was no reaction, so they had to expect a smoke from newbie. 40-minute mark hits. We've got double rune spawning, and the third Roche has respawned. So another cheese. Did they ever use the first cheese? No, they didn't.
They still got it, I think.
Yeah, Silencer still has the first cheese.
Still have it on Noogie. And this Roshan, it looks like it will be contested, as OG are indeed on the way over. They're going to look to try and fight across this. They have the smoke. Who's going to make the jump? There's N0tail going in S4. Immediately with the hookshot. Knows he's found someone. There is KP in it, and they have got the vision out upon it. KP pushed up to the high ground. N0tail forcing back the rest of newbie with this primal split, but he's going to lose one of the Brewlings. That's the Earth Ruling down. Ana jumping forward. Lincoln gets proc, but KP can't quite get back in for the duel. There's the Winter's Curse. Turns SCCC against Faith as he brings down his own teammate. It's going to be the Lich down. A lot of holes being blown.
S4 did not want that hook shot to hit the Legion. They did not know there was an Invis hero there. I think he was trying to get on top of the Morphling.
And
there.
Newbie are back in the pit. They're finishing off this Roche. I mean, can OG go in for a second time without primal split and such? S4's trying to walk it, pops the stick charges, but immediately gets the jump and Ana gets the snatch, takes the Aegis, and now he's ready to fight. Drops the Abyssal down onto Mugi, but Mugi jumps back with the cheese play. Gorgonzola's it out of there, and he's back up to full health. And look at this range with the Hurricane Pike pummeling into Ana. Ana's forced to blink up to the high ground, but SCCC's looking for the chase. Fly goes for the Glimmer Cape TP out. He's going to be fine. SCCC with no vision there. Ana will survive.
That was so clutch by N0tail. The blink in right next to the pit gets the hex on the Morphling so that he can't get the last hit. Oh, did he get the last hit actually? Okay, Radiant did get the last hit.
He didn't get the last hit, but Ana got the Aegis and he got out.
Yeah.
Still has the Aegis on him on the anti-mage.
That's super important.
But still, as we're seeing, definitely the issue being that they couldn't kill SCCC. They just have to run from this Morphling. Ana has a DD. Thought he's going to blink in and go for some plays, but he blinks back.
The fight didn't go perfect for either side there, though, at all. No. OG could have definitely had it. I mean, if that hook shot hit the target, then it looked like S4 was going for the Morphling, or I believe for the silencer on the side there.
Yes, at the very start. Yeah.
Then that could have been a completely different engagement from the start.
Overall, though, considering the fact that OG are 24k gold behind, the fact that they were at least able to get in there and steal the Aegis and not lose too much in return and still get kills themselves, you know, bringing down KP, bringing down Faith, I think they take those sort of even trades. You know, the fact that they stop Newbie getting the Aegis, because say Newbie got the Aegis and cheese there, they could close the game up.
Yeah,
this way,
killing the
Morphling,
killing Morphling once is already obviously proving to be a massive issue. Killing him twice. Looking now though, OG with this Aegis, they're looking to get aggressive themselves. They know Global's still down for a bit. It's their time to make something happen. Nice little tower siege. A little bit of surge of income for his teammates. Ana's like, here you go guys, I'll rain on you guys some gold. Much needed. Derek's about to have that Lotus Orb finished up. It's going to be really turn the tides of it to get those saves. But usually when I'm thinking OG, I'm always looking at Jerax's performance and how much impact he's having as these 4 roles. But this game, he hasn't really had the chance just because of the lineup he's playing, where he just gets global and he's like, guys, I can't do anything.
The global is so strong this game. Item-wise as well, it looks like we're actually going to see Ana look for the diffused blade as his next item. Bit of chase down.
So I'll be able to break the Lincolns as well, so we can get the Abyssal Blade afterwards.
Sure. Nice against the Ice Armor, of course, as well as we see that still just such an incredibly strong spell, even at these later stages of the game. Provides so much survivability.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things that the Diffusal Blade is good for in this game. Not only just mana burning more on the Morphling, but yeah, breaking those Lincolns, and of course, yeah, removing the armor can be very nice. Very cool pickup. We saw Miracle. We've seen Miracle do that build a few times, but the most recent was Dream League that we did cast, and we saw that.
And he normally picks it up earlier, doesn't he?
Yeah, he picks it up like second or third.
Yeah.
But this one, you can see the reason why, so it makes sense for him to actually go for those pickups.
Still yet to invest, and we know these pro players, he still could change his mind.
Yeah.
He has it queued up at least, and so definitely
absolutely true.
Think pick it up for. No Tail, of course, yeah, looking for those Lotus Orbs as well, multiple. Side of OG get it done. It's global and such. In fact, OG, they're coming, they're storming across. They want to use this Aegis on Ana.
They had a ward down, so they're trying to get something before Newbie actually saw it, but Newbie dewards it, and they all back up very quickly. Bottom lane pushing in pretty heavily. Someone from OG is gonna have to respond to that one, get that nice little juicy farm.
I mean, really.
But SCC's coming in.
Oh,
he's got a replicate at base.
He's going for the rat play. Comes in for a bit of a tickle.
And he's gone.
He's just teasing around with him there on the bottom lane.
I mean, he doesn't see the other three heroes, so he can die super easily now with that Abyssal Blade.
There's no point taking injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, what does he do with his slot stays? He's got upgraded bots, he's got 6 major items, and he's got 5k gold in the bank.
It's the BKB's the next big one.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be having to swap items out a lot. BKB Satanic. I mean, he'll have to just swap them out during the fights. Maybe after he uses Manta, he can switch the Satanic in, or by BKB, or vice versa. Something along those lines. OG, about 40 more seconds left on that Aegis. They're trying to force something, since Ana is extremely powerful right now.
Nice pick as well from Silence. It has the Lincoln, some more chances to get off that global. Okay. With the vision, jumps in, immediately pops the Lincoln, but there's the teammate play. Forces Mugi back to safety. He'll get himself back up to the high ground. Does pop the BKB. Doesn't panic too much, and in fact, what with the Mugi? Hurts onto Mugi. Mugi may just be gone, and he is. Ana jumps up to the high ground. They get the big kill, and that's actually silenced down for 80 seconds. I'd say the Lincoln Sphere purchase was nice, but it of course means he does not have buyback for this. And that is going to be one down for an incredibly long time at this late stage of the game. 46 minutes in, no silencer for 70. We saw SCCC trying to react and get a kill off the way on the way out as OG escaped, but he was unsuccessful.
Fly, that curse was just absolutely perfect. Everyone just wailing on him.
Big late game plays from OG indeed.
50 seconds, there's no buyback, so they've got some little bit of time to breathe. And a bottle with the DD rune. Honestly, thank you. So did he decide to switch anything? He just built the Moon Shard. Yeah.
Just went for the Moon Shard, yeah. Just picked it up now. Still holding off those other purchases. I mean, we're seeing plays, as you say, from Fly. I think they can set up for those kills and such.
I mean, that's a big swing in momentum. That's a 6k.
Yeah.
It's only 6k gold swing, but it's the fact that OG's that far behind and they're able to do those kind of
things. It really is. They're pressuring the base of Newbie when they're 20k behind.
Yeah.
Newbie did to stop this. No touch.
Oh, they're going in.
They do get it, gets purged off there by the Legion. Wars punch, but Jarex is in trouble. Jumped on by KP. The Jewel's there, but there's the Winter's Curse. Fly buys a little bit of time for Jarex. Does manage to set up for the kill on Kaka. They'll lose Jarex at the end of it all. SCCC now jumping forward, lifting nuke heroes down. There's the E-Blade into the nuke for the Legion Commander. That's going to be 2 gone. SCCC sets up for the double kill. This time, Newbie able to stick their teeth into OG and push them out of the base. Now they themselves in position to go down the middle lane. Buyback available on both No Tail and Fly.
Ooh, they really wanted to just jump and instantly blow them up in some form, but that's still a very risky play when you're seeing it. Silencer's about to respawn. You know that these guys have triple 4 staffs. You know they have like solar crests and medallions. There's a lot of defensive capabilities coming from Nube. Definitely a little bit of an overextension from OG there, and they're gonna have to pay for it.
Brewmaster No Tail has to buyback.
Buyback.
And that's all Newbie want. They see the buyback, they back off.
Yep.
They're happy with that. Wait for Roche. In a minute, we'll see when it's back up. Newbie, of course, hoping for the shorter respawn so they can keep the pressure on. Whilst that buyback is still on cooldown from No Tail. There we have it, as we can see on the graph. What a crazy game it's been. Reaching up to that 26 10, as you say, each of these fights, because of how much Newbie's heroes are worth. OG can swing that back round in pretty sizable chunks. because of the value that these heroes are carrying on newbie.
The one issue is still, though, like, it's anti-mage versus the world still. Sure, they have, like, Hex and they still have the Panda split, but these guys are not really scaling. They're getting, you know, they got Lotus Orb for Jerax on the Tusk, but everybody else is pretty much completely stagnated for a long time. Like, just look at the net worth. You see Clockwork 9K, Tusk 8K, Wyvern 6, and Panda only at 13. Look at those numbers. I mean, that's the 26K differential that we're talking about here.
Bang. Just the numbers we're seeing in some of these individuals. Value at the moment, 7K on that AM. Boogie eyeing up a Moonshards next. Continues to scale, as we've seen, pretty well. Obviously, it still suffers when he has an anti-mage and his own team turning against him, thanks to the Winter's Curse.
So we've got the Moonshard eaten by Morphling, and the BKB is inside the backpack, okay. plus buyback gold.
You're going to see OG come over once again to newbie's half of the map.
They know there's a ward up there now.
That's going to put a bit of a hold to that movement from OG. You don't want newbie to be able to see the
next Roche will be the big one.
That move from that D-ward, OG certainly in the better position.
OG does see everyone
control.
right now.
Yeah,
okay.
this is OG. Good vision advantage around pit. Minute and a half and a couple of minutes until Roshan is back up. Definitely important there. Be in, quick D-ward. Control back away. Play around this illusion, then find S4. Go in, he hooks up there, and he's gone S4! He's dead! Just like that, he's in. He did bait the global silence. He's going to be saying job done, and maybe it is. He is going to be back up before Roshan's there. And there is going to be no global. So S4 with the next level plays.
I guess maybe. Because Ana, that was bizarre, because Ana blinked on the high ground and didn't have Blink Up or Manta ready just yet. And S4 just goes in while they hex, but it looked like No-Tail went in a hex as well. So they looked like they wanted to do something, but something was on a different page there.
Yeah.
Ana has to go back, and now, like you said, pro players tend to switch their item choices. The Diffusal Blade is no longer the item, Bloodthorn is the item.
Bloodthorn. Bigger goal.
Okay, same kind of concept to break the Lincolns, but then it's an even better, I mean, just a way better item. An actual, like, tier 4 item compared to, like, a tier 2 item.
Well, as I was saying, S4 is back. We'll see if they can do anything whilst that global silence is down, and that would obviously be the dream for OG. If they can try and abuse that timing. Still very hard to do so. See, we've seen during this game, Newbie very able to still take fights without the global. Yep. Just a bit of an added luxury for them. Situations. No-Tail with the late game arcane boots.
Yep, almost with the Lotus Orb for himself, about 1,200 gold away from that.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. Oh no, okay, no, yeah, he's going to disassemble the arcane.
Yeah.
River at the moment. Watched by Newbie.
Newbie's got high ground advantage right now. They break the Lincolns as well.
Picks up an invis. Sentry is down there for Newbie.
They see a DD bottom, honestly. On my way.
And obviously, as we've seen the room play at this stage of the game, it's so game changing. Yeah, having a DD on your core 52 minutes in, it really does make all the difference.
They may actually just try to go for it. jump with it.
Yeah.
Especially because he's invis as well.
I mean, S4 is back, and if there's anyone that's going to want to jump in, it is going to be S4. He's going to be wanting to rumble.
Roche has spawned. S4 continues using rocket flare so they can scout that high ground.
Ana really respecting each and every time that his Lincolns gets popped. He's out of there.
During all this, though, we take a look at this bottom wave. This is a gigantic double catapult wave that OG has pushing in. So at some point, SCCC does have to respond. He does have the replicate, but it could give OG a window to try to make something happen.
Ana's
in bottom.
Look, with the DD, he just walks into the pit and he's ready to go. Newbie, they got to head in and do something about this. It's falling quick. Kaka's in with the vision. Ana blinks out immediately. What are you doing about a third of the life of Roshan? SCCC elsewhere, just getting these lanes pushed back out. He's really starting to amp up the pressure on the top lane.
He's starting to do the split push as well, with playing around with those replicates with that bots too. Threatening top, forcing reaction.
And this is going to pull OG back.
And he's got the replicate in the pit, jumps right in. It's already half HP. They've got the solar crest on it as well.
OG have got to come back down it. Can they get her in time? No-tail jumps forward with the clap. Kaka, he's going to have the hex removed. In comes the wall, giving vision. Ana jumps in. Oh, he's going to look for it, but no, he gets instantly hexed. Ana caught out, the chain frost upon him, and Ana's down. Newbie get Roshan, they get the Aegis, and they may even be able to get more. Global Silence is out. Jump forward from SCCC as he looks towards S4. The clock's down. Ana's going to buy back for this one. Jerax committing very deep with the snowball. Does get the blink out in time. SCCC pops the BKB. Wins his curse from Fly. Holds back the team, but no, SCCC still able to waveform away from it all. Ana blinks away despite buying back for this. Can't get his teeth stuck in. So they lose Ana, they lose S4. Ana buys back. Newbie with the Aegis in hand on Mugi.
Aegis in. Now they have two cheeses as well on Legion. He just gets instantly, after Lincoln gets broke from the track, instant hacks into a global, and no one can follow up to really help him.
If Ana goes down, it could be game over. He gets shoved forward. Blink back. SCCC with the split push, focusing on the top lane. This fortification comes out from OG. 10 seconds until S4's back in. And they hold this. Maybe they've got strong push with that Morphling. Safe push as well. Back up there. Does get hexed up. Immediately the saves there from KP. Gets purged off. There's the Ethereal Blade coming out onto No-tail. It's not fine enough to kill him. S4 jumps forward. SCCC as well.
Ana.
Finish up Ana. Ana's blinked into this. The cold embrace and the snowball saver there. OG with the classic saving people making questionable plays, and Ana gets back out. Will be able to blink back to safety. Jerax, there's no saving for him. He says, I died for you, Ana. You better not screw this one up, boy. As Jerax is down for 70, he does have buyback. But Newbie, they're ready to push in once more. Up onto the high ground, looking for this tier 3. Ana, is he going to jump? He is. Looks for SCCC. Lincoln's is popped. Tracks out upon him. And Newbie there back up again. Jewel is available. No-tail jumps in, looking for the ult, but immediately gets hexed. Flies there again with the save. Cold Embrace buys time. Jerax has to buy back. Feeling the pressure, feeling the heat. Knows that his team needs him. At this time where the saves are absolutely crucial.
KP passes SCCC a cheese just to reset him up to full. And then keep the siege going. 38,000 gold lead now for Newbie.
Fuser Blade pick up from Ana at this stage. Everything is needed.
He couldn't afford the Bloodthorn, so he needs something to be able to break that Lincoln's.
SCCC gets another tier 3 up on the top lane, cleans it out. Both tier 3s down. The middle rack starting to take a bit of damage. Newbie with no intention of backing away from this push at this stage. 39,000 gold lead. SCCC looking for Ana. Manta start a blink out. Plays it safe. But the wave's getting pushed in once again. S4 hooks in, finds Kaka, but there's the jump in for KP. But KP gets focused. Jerax, they're in time with the snowball save, buying them time around the global silence. KP continue to get focused. Silence onto Ana. He's being caught in brace. Can he get himself out of there? He's healing up. Can he jump away? There's the blink out just in time. But Newbie, they're swarming in. KP jumps forward. Looking to finish off Ana. Ana again gets the blink up because Fly's there with the Winter's Curse to hold back KP, who gets taken down by SCCC. Buyback from Fly. Jerax is still in the game. S4 buys back as well. No-tail's down. He does not have buyback available. Kaka gets blown up by the Mana Void. SCCC waveforms back. Jerax is there with the snowball. There's the hex. And then jumping in, trying to finish up SCCC. KP's there with a heal, with a save. Glimmer Cape settles away. SCCC turns towards Ana. Ana with a blink out just in time. Fly trying to save the anti-mage with the Glimmer Cape. They've got the vision. They've got the damage. Ana gets taken down by the blast from the Lich as OG are forced back to the base. GG is called, and Newbie finally seal the deal here with this game 1. Ooh.
Damn, they played so well around the global though, honestly. I have to give a lot of props to Newbie. OG just stalking a bit too much, unable to take the fights, and yeah, they just started progressively getting more and more behind for those tracks, and Nubi overall had incredibly good movements on the map. That first movement toward top to slow down the anti-mage a bit, and then just the way that they siege the towers and able to claim pretty much every single Roshan, it was them dictating majority of the fights. OG tried to make some aggressive plays, but the Global just completely destroyed them this game.
Absolutely. Just from the draft as well, just as we kind of felt at the start, just really smart choices from Nubi. That last pick Morphling, and the decision with the lanes, working out perfectly, and as you said, that the global silences were absolutely crucial and really, really put a stop to what OG wanted to do. And this is something that we've seen time and time before. We see games where OG comes in and they will ban out that silencer because it just puts such a hole in the way that they play as a team.
Especially if there's something like that in the first two, like the Legion or the Batrider. I think that's going to be big indicators now. If teams do choose those two like big initiators like that, they're going to be wary of banning the silencer in the third, fourth.
Wow. What a game one to start this day here, ladies and gentlemen. And the thing was as well, even though there's that 40k gold lead, it was still, it could, you know, there was this small chance of OG turning it around at the end, but overall, Nubi with a smarter game plan. And wow, game one, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to be back with game two right around the corner.